What would you say your biggest challenge is in all this?
Sanity.
What do you mean?
There's just so many moving parts. Being, I suppose, the one person for everything does make it challenging. It's obviously nice to be wanted, but I don't have the answers for everything. But I'll generally just go find the answer. I probably care a little bit too much. I care about the businesses and making sure they're successful. I've always been the only one that's been working in the business full time. Yeah, we've got to move away from the dependency on me because that doesn't scale. I can't scale that way. That's the challenge.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ways to Wealth. Today I'm joined by Harrison. Harrison, why don't you give us the TLDR on who you are and what you get up to?
Well, I'm Harrison.
Yeah.
First and foremost, a father to two kids, which is great. And I run the Kitchen Collective, which is a co-working commercial kitchen space based in Auckland, and we've got a site down in Christchurch as well.
Okay, cool. And is that like what they would consider like a ghost kitchen?
Yeah, it comes in a lot of different names. A ghost kitchen, dark kitchen, co-working kitchen space is the one I like.
Yeah.
But yeah, they all sort of fit under the same bracket.
Right.
But yeah, I prefer co-working.
Okay, yeah. So it's like a co-working space for people that produce food.
Pretty much. It's just like co-working office space, apart from we do it for kitchens. So you stick a big building, cut them up into smaller blocks and fit those all out for people to move in.
And what led you to try and do that?
I was doing it in London. So I just really loved that concept. London was slightly different. The industry was starting to grow quite rapidly, but Karma Kitchen, which was the business I ended up working for, had a shared space. So a lot of smaller producers could get going, worked on a shift structure, so they can just get the wheels moving before moving into a private kitchen.
Right.
And I just love that concept of helping out smaller businesses to slowly tap them in, so hopefully they can grow.
Right.
And so I basically stole that same concept and brought it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know that the co-founder of Uber also tried something.
Yeah, Travis. Yeah,
Travis tried something. I don't know if it's still going or.
Yeah, they're called Cloud Kitchen, so it's a good name.
Yeah,
Cloud Kitchen in the industry.
Yeah, and is it still a thing?
Yeah, they're still going. Yeah, I think they've rejigged their model slightly around, but they've got presence in quite a few more countries than obviously we do.
Right.
Not New Zealand, but they do have a site over in Australia as well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Especially with the boom that we've seen in like independent places providing food and getting distribution through the platforms.
100%.
In the UK, were you working at a time where it was an established market, or I remember pre-Uber Eats you kind of had menu log and you kind of had some stuff, and in the UK you had a lot more optionality than you do here. Were kind of cloud kitchens or were co-working space kitchens a thing back then, or was it really once Uber and DoorDash and everyone got to scale that the use case became big enough?
It was a growing industry. I think it was very early doors in sort of 2018, 2019 when I joined. I think Travis was great in terms of bringing light to the industry. He made a few acquisitions as well of our competitors within the UK market, so it sort of brought light into it. But I think delivery was still going quite strong. I think what happened was, because of the rapid rise, restaurants were sort of rejigging their models around, and it's so hard to retrofit those things. So they design a store as a storefront, customers come in, they sit down, they eat, and they leave. With delivery, it opened up a new revenue channel, but brought stress within that sort of environment as well. So cloud kitchens were sort of a subset of that, of going, it's just delivery only. That's the focus, and it's built just around that. So it's sort of that sort of intersect of the rapid rise of delivery and then just a new version of the model to help sort of fill in that gap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And is it I guess it's people that, the people you work with, they operate their own brand typically?
Typically, yeah. It's a massive range. We design the kitchen space specifically around delivery. Probably got the design wrong. I had a thesis around, basically her concept was sitting around 10 metres squared. So some of our kitchens are 21 metres squared, so you can technically fit two brands in there, and they range up to, our biggest is 50 metres squared. But we kind of got that wrong for the New Zealand market because delivery-only brands didn't really exist at that time, and we're coming up with a new concept to the market which didn't exist as well. So what actually happened was we had pivot, basically open kitchens up to absolutely anyone. So they range off from delivery-only brands, catering companies, production. So a lot of people do their core production there and then deliver to the store, so it cuts down on that staff costs. So we've lucked out in the sense that we've got those production kitchens, whereas other cloud kitchens don't actually have those. So it worked out quite well, sort of being new to the market and just pivoting quite quickly.
Yeah, okay, cool. And so specifically, when did you start that?
2022.
Okay, so you're kind of into year 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And what was the biggest surprise that you had from opening the business?
That delivery-only brands didn't really exist in New Zealand.
Right.
I think
So the problem didn't exist at the scale that you needed it to.
I think the timing just got off in the sense that during COVID, obviously everything shut down, including restaurants, and we only had supermarkets were open, whereas it did the opposite in the UK. You could still have basically brands still open and operating as long as they're on delivery. So there's sort of rapid rise over there. We had, purchased the building in sort of 2021. Thought COVID was sort of on the end tail and sort of kept going. So I think it just delayed sort of the exposure to what was actually, naturally transitioning through.
And now it's a lot more robust 4 years later.
Yeah, it's not necessarily, it's still early doors. I don't think there's still virtual brands that sort of operate, obviously within our kitchen space, but also in the market as well.
Yeah.
But it's still in its infancy, I've found anyway, within the New Zealand market.
Yeah, okay. And what's the aspiration for you with it? Like, is it just New Zealand? Is it to expand?
We'd like to expand. I think we could definitely compete within the Australian market as well. I think just with the way our model's sort of set up, we do have shared spaces to help those businesses get going. We've got those medium size so they can help expand out, and then hopefully those larger kitchen spaces for
more of a roadmap for people to grow through your offering, which may increase your lifetime value, and you think that could work?
100%. I think it's just we view businesses slightly different. We really want to help them out until they get too big and they've got to leave.
Yeah.
Or we end up building a space specifically around them. That would be the absolute ideal.
Yeah.
But it's just following them through the journey and hopefully playing a small part in that.
Yeah. And do you think you can lateralize and improve by providing new revenue lines to the business through adding value to these people?
Would love that.
It's something that's really adjacent right now and it's just too much to think about.
Would absolutely love that. I think it's just too early within the market in terms of the ideas that we've got around that. One was like a virtual food hall. You can order everything from one place, and it's really easy for drivers to pick that all up and sort of bring that all together within one order.
Right.
But it's just too early at the moment. So that's something I've been thinking about since sort of 2019, 2020, and just haven't been able to execute on it just because we don't have that sort of right skew of customers in there at the moment.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, what was the catalyst that got you back into NZ and then from the UK and then deciding to be a business owner?
Yeah, I've always been entrepreneurial. Started a sports analysis business. I can't remember what year that was, but it was before I moved to the UK, so let's say 2013 to 2016. I really wanted to know how startups really worked. At that time, there wasn't really a startup environment within the New Zealand market.
Yeah.
So me and my now wife moved over to the UK, and I sort of aimed out to.
And what year was that you moved?
2016.
2016, right.
I really just wanted to know how startups worked.
Right.
And you find out pretty early they're all generally the same. They're just at varying different levels.
Various levels of dysfunction.
Yeah, pretty much. Some have more robust systems and others don't. So I just wanted to get amongst it.
Right.
And the UK market was just great. Everyone's just so welcoming. A lot of people, were willing to reply back to you on LinkedIn and catch up for a pint or a coffee. And so it's just a really great open market, which I really loved. Worked in an AI startup before AI sort of fell off a cliff and then sort of boomed back up again. It was doing AI recruitment, which was really interesting. And I can see that entering the market now, which is awesome. So it's maybe too early if they'd seen that ride out.
Yeah.
Jumped around just varying different levels of tech startups. That was sort of my aim.
And what's your focus within them? Where do you play?
I was always around sort of sales and account management.
Yeah.
That's something I've
sales.
Yeah, always just been involved within that. And I really enjoyed my EdTech startup. It was called Code Kingdoms. It was basically teaching kids how to code. It was going to be sort of an emerging part of kids' education. And it connected up to Minecraft, so it was a drag and drop feature, and then they could obviously go into code. I was involved with the B2B side, so we were based obviously in London, but most of our customers were in America, which was awesome. We actually had more customers in New Zealand than we did in the UK, which was fascinating.
Oh, that's fascinating.
I mean, it was 2 customers in New Zealand versus 1 customer in the UK market, but really focusing on that, seeing how an international business works in an international market. And then we were working out of like a WeWork co-working space.
Yeah.
And I really just was like fascinated by that model. There was a massive range of businesses. You know, there was us, Microsoft and GoPro were at the top floors, and it was sort of like everyone was sort of mixed together. It was like really fascinating. And then I just read up on this concept around cloud kitchens and basically handed the founders down for a job and finally got one.
Right. And then did that for how long?
It was about a year and a half before moving back to New Zealand.
And why did you come back?
I think we'd sort of done okay in the UK. I ended up getting testicular cancer as well. So that sort of like camel, the short about the camel's back.
Yeah.
Moved home after that.
Yeah, fair.
But we had a dog as well, so we had to bring him over. So yeah, he still had it. Yep. Twax, he still, he was 9 yesterday. So we just had to pre-plan everything out. So it's a big move to come back to New Zealand and then obviously coming back.
And your partner's a Kiwi as well?
Yeah, she was,
Yeah. Oh, cool.
From Auckland, so that's why we're here now.
Yeah, okay. And you were from originally?
Wellington.
Wellington, yeah. Cool.
Loud and proud.
Yeah. A lot of people from Wellington love Wellington.
Wouldn't live there at the moment, but always loved Wellington. Love going up there. It was a good spot.
Yeah, cool. And what's like the aspiration for the business over like the next 5 years? Like, what's success like for you, both personally, but also from the business perspective? But obviously, it's all merged anyway. Yeah,
I think like short term is just getting another site, right? Like we've got one in Auckland and one down in Christchurch. Christchurch is doing, starting to gain a lot more strength. They've got a lot going on down there.
Yeah.
Auckland's, I wouldn't necessarily say it's struggling, but like hospitality is definitely feeling a lot more out of anyone else. And obviously with the recent fuel crisis that's sort of been going on, it's made it even worse. But I'd just love to expand another site, whether that's, back home in Wellington, that'd be awesome. That'd be challenging to deal with just earthquake-prone buildings and probably like the time of the market. But it's just deciding where that next site's going to be. Is it going to be in Auckland or is it in Hamilton? Yeah, or Hamilton's like really merging out, which is fantastic. And it's great hospitality scene down there.
It's interesting, right? It's going off tangent, but I've had this thought in my head a few times while we've been talking. Like, it's people's kitchen spots, and they're permanent. They're not permanent, are they? It's like kind of like hot desking, is it?
Well, permanent
is it mix?
They'll still sign a lease. So out of 21 kitchens, we've got 20 are private kitchens. So they range from sort of 1 to 4 years. But we try to aim sort of around that like year lease, so that way they can see if they're going to grow. Like we've got one tenant, Adam from Ants and Pasties, started in our smallest kitchen and he's moved around to a more medium size, and then so
it's kind of their space while they got the lease. Yeah. Like they get to like manage how it works, right there. Yeah,
we just fit it all out.
Yeah,
so the cost gets cut down significantly. Then they have to put in the hoods. We supply some of the core equipment as well. That they get lowers down their costs and their risk as well. So it's sort of like a turnkey to a certain extent. They can just get going, right away.
There have been a lot of these kind of virtual brands picking up as well, and they're either attracting entrepreneurs that want to do it in kitchen places like yours, and then I think there's also a bit of a process towards people that already have kitchens and businesses trying to build extra revenue streams by getting recipes and being a part of that.
Yeah, it's another confusing part to the whole game. Like with a virtual brand, you can obviously create one yourself. You can look at the SKUs that go across. I know that places like Uber Eats probably wanted to cut down that a little bit, because you could set up a pizza brand and you could just name it 15 different brands, put it on there, but all the revenue comes to you. Right. So they've done a good job of cutting that down. I don't think that...
because that was the thing that was happening, is basically someone would have like multiple things on there.
Yeah. But it's the same, let's just use pizza as an example.
Yeah,
they'll have 5 different pizza brands, but it's the same pizzas across each menu. And it's just coming from one place.
Right.
So I think they've done a good job of cutting that down, which is awesome. But you can look at brands like Mr. Beast Burger, that could be like an extra revenue stream that goes in there as well. A far more established brand, obviously easy to market, or you could start creating ones yourself.
Yeah.
So one of our tenants, Jack's Fried Chicken, he started off basically as a virtual brand, moved it more into people click and collecting, and now he's got 3 stores around Auckland that he's managed to build on that sort of basis of the virtual brand.
Do you think food prepping businesses work? Like when you buy the mass bit meals? Because you probably have a few of those.
Yeah, we've got a couple. I think they do really well. Like if you execute right.
Yeah, right.
I think it's
a really good service. I've consumed them a few times. There's an African blood diamond.
Oh yeah.
Finder.
So yeah, he uses our space.
He uses your space. Yeah, like I like his food.
He really cares about the quality of food.
Yeah.
I can't speak to anyone outside of it, but like I don't know if that sort of same level is there. Whereas like I know that he really cares about it. He thinks about it a lot. Plus being an athlete as well.
Exactly. I mean, that's the appeal of using a product like that. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it's hard when you have family members to consume those products.
Yeah.
Right, because if you're a working professional on your own, then I would do it every week without a doubt.
100%.
But when you're dealing with potentially five people, in different dietary needs, it's hard because it isn't really designed for that. And it makes working out the cost benefit harder, right? Because you're like, okay, I've got 15 meals.
Yeah.
Am I going to use 3 per sitting? Like,
100%.
Who's going to even eat it? And I've just kind of conceded that it's actually just going to be like when I treat myself to because I train a lot as well. To like good nutrition, so like once a month or something, just get the top thing and just that way.
That could be like an emerging market, like a family pack that sits across that you could add in. So you've got the kids' meals. Probably makes it a bit harder from like a cooking perspective, but if there was an opportunity, I think frozen meals are sort of under-tapped within the New Zealand market. I think supermarkets can probably have a play in that in terms of where they put them rather than putting them down the back. And I always just think of the Weight Watchers sort of microwave meals that sit in there. I think there's good quality food that can be out there, and I think Farrow's doing an exceptional job of that as well. Obviously, they're ready to go. You can just chuck them in the oven, or you can put them in the freezer. Yeah. But I do think like if you could figure out how to do that for a family, it'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it would be, because it's like the whole thing is the time. It's a crazy game changer if you're a busy person. All of a sudden, you're not thinking about what you're going to eat, especially if you like really care about eating well and providing yourself with good nutrition. It's like half the battle is working out how to do that.
Everyone knows how to eat healthy.
Yes, but how to actually execute.
100%.
It's a great tool for being able to guarantee that.
Yeah, definitely.
And then there's a lot less washing up.
Yeah. I'm saying just put them down.
Yeah. Well, which is again, I wish that you could like give the packaging back to them.
There's been some really good, cool companies that have tried that as well. Reusable, that was down in Wellington. Yeah. They tried to encourage that, and if you were going to like food trucks, for example, you get a discount from there. It's just the washing up.
Yeah.
Makes it like a really
it's the same problem.
Yeah. Everywhere you turn, there's something different. And but there's companies that have tried, but I think it's just that return policy and how you get those things back, and then how you wash them, and then bring them back out again. Yeah, that's the real challenge.
Do you think that this is you now, like in terms of the industry? Because you were working like different startups. You're very focused on like, hey, I want to work in startup land, and now you've kind of got into the food space in the UK, and then it's come over here. And when you're talking about nutrition and food and Faro, you clearly know the market well. So, like, do you just feel like you're going to sit in this industry or do you have like aspirations of thinking about other markets as well?
It's the ultimate question. I know there's always like, whenever you start something, there's always other opportunities that sort of arise within that as well. I couldn't really answer that question, to be honest. I honestly don't know where you'd fit within that, whether it's more, if it didn't work out for whatever reason,
right,
I'd probably move more around that sort of tech space, but maybe moved back in within that hospitality.
How much have you invested in tech enabling your current business?
Very little from our side. I obviously just create sort of own dashboards myself and analyse it as much as possible. Yeah. But in terms of that, that's
as far as you've gone.
I've just coded it up myself. But you don't even really need it too much.
No, well, that's right.
It's just about breaking down costs, right? Because we're running the space, the operating costs are obviously quite large because you've got so many people. Yeah. But it's how you can sort of predict things moving forward.
Do you have to have a lot of staff?
No, it's just me.
Just you. So it's nice in that regard, but there's a lot of logistical. You got to communicate with a lot of different stakeholders in the venues, which can be an issue.
Because we run the whole boat. Well, I run the whole building, right? So like it's as simple as dealing with the cleaner, but then I care about the chemicals that go on the floors, making sure that grease and oil and everything that goes on them is actually removed correctly. Dealing with general waste contracts, but then you're dealing with Genesis and power bills and signing those sorts of contracts, and then you've got the lease component as well, and inwards goods, outwards goods. the BWOF of the building. There's a lot of different things that go into it. So you got to kind of like, I would say, you know enough of certain things, but I think just over time you sort of compound those skills, right? And whether that's me moving more into the property side of it, quite enjoy that. But still obviously love the tech element to it.
Yeah.
So I'm probably a mixed bag. But there's a weird set of skills. I'm not a handyman, but I've slowly just become more handy just from having
that's the key. Yeah.
I think people think I'm more handy than I actually am. It's not really hard. You just sort of tighten things and you just hope for the best.
Yeah, definitely. I guess there's a couple of things. Like for each new site that you bring up, like is there a ramp up period and like investment process that's quite difficult? And then the second one would be like, how do you think about that in your own sanity and wealth and building your own household kind of equity, right? When like, do you think you've kind of cracked the operating model to a point where you know that X amount of wealth can be generated for each new location? Because that's like the ultimate of like product market fit as a business owner, right? Is that, oh, well, I know that if I, open a new store and do the work for 3 years, that it's gonna
XYZ. To an extent, yes. The hard part is how you execute on it. So it's obviously capital intensive.
Yeah.
To build any building is always capital intensive.
Yeah.
But particularly kitchens as well. It just depends how you set those up. So we've got 1,100 squares, we've got 21 kitchens. Would I design it differently? 100%. There'll be certain things that you cut down on the cost of the build. In an ideal world, you'd have someone that's growing, you can make the anchor tenant and then build around that. It'd be fantastic. But there's so many elements that go into it. I could take a very educated guess for it, but then the cost of the building goes out. We have another crisis that goes on, things just increase up. But in terms of like the revenue, I think there's an easy way of doing that, and I can pretty accurately guess what operators as they're moving in, what their power and gas bills are going to be, what the OPEX is going to be. I've done a really good job of like capping our OPEX, but that's just because I really care about it. So lowering down those costs, especially the tenant is paying, but just keeping an eye on everything. Yeah. So I think I could take like a pretty accurate guess over the last 4 years of what that's going to be. Yeah. But that's assuming you've got an anchor tenant. If we had to start all over again and redo the building without any tenants, it's still kind of a guessing game.
If you were to do Hamilton or something else, maybe or something like that, would you find an anchor tenant first?
Ideally, yeah.
Yeah.
But if the market is demanding that,
and the opportunity, and you
sign people up.
Yeah.
Because again, like it's so hard to retrofit everything. Like, is our site perfect? No, but you don't know that until people move in and they're like, oh, this would have been nice to do this.
Yeah.
If you had signed before that, we could have rejigged stuff around, specifically built around what you actually need.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the challenge.
What would you say your biggest challenge is in all this?
Sanity.
Double click on that. What do you mean?
There's just so many moving parts, and like being, I suppose, the one person for everything does make it like challenging.
So the dependency, key man risk kind of vibe.
It's obviously nice to be wanted, but like, I don't have the answers for everything.
Yeah.
But I'll generally just go find the answers. Probably care a little bit too much. I care about the businesses and making sure they're successful.
Yeah.
I care that we lower down the OPEX costs so that they can operate.
Yeah.
I think that's always like a bit of a challenge, but I think hospitality, if you can all stick together, you can all succeed. That sometimes does feel a little bit disjointed, like in any industry, right?
Yeah.
But, they don't need to be your competitors. They can all sort of come together. So we've done a great job of like having a great community.
Yeah, right.
And I do think community gets thrown out a little bit too much, but like I've done nothing for the community. I think I set up drinks once and no one showed up, so I was like, sweet. But like everyone, there's like cross-pollination across everyone, which is awesome, and that's just naturally happened, which has been great. But it's just keeping your sanity, and like things aren't going to be that bad if you just keep on keeping on.
Is it kind of the ability to be able to vocalize and I guess share the problem, or like share the intensity, or, in a sense, like we are saying in our business that if you share the problem, you halve it.
Yeah.
Is it kind of that, or is it just is it like you're tempted to react to lots of stuff that's going around at once?
I just don't let people give a shit.
Right.
Like, if I share the problem, you could go like, cool, don't know what I'm going to do with that, but vocalising it, I think it's going to half my problem.
Yeah, right.
I'd rather just get on with it. Like,
I guess it's because are you a solo founder? Would you like?
So I originally had a co-founder, and then we sort of had some changes recently. So I've always been the only one that's been working in the business full time.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of potentially where that kind of that not comes from, but that makes sense then. If you had a co-founder, but they weren't operating the business.
Yeah. I just figured if I keep talking about it, I'm going to waste time from not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the classic business owner problem, right? Of, well, no one's going to do it as good as me.
Yeah. Oh, to an extent. I mean, a professional can probably do it better than me, but I think we've got to move away from the dependency on me because that doesn't scale.
Yeah.
I can't scale that way.
Yeah.
So I think we've got to a good point, but like we'd have to restart that with a new building and a new site. You would
need to add to your operating capacity to keep your sanity, because it sounds like you'll probably know that you're probably hitting your wall from hours being able to be spent, etc., and capacity. And if you opened another one, then you would definitely need support.
100%.
And your kind of sales and tech, like as your kind of core competencies, would you say it's like operations and marketing then?
Well, now I've become pretty skilled up in operations, which is right. Marketing, definitely not my forte.
But I guess what is marketing for you, right? Because it's a BD activity in a sense as well, right?
That's the challenge.
Yeah.
Like we've got an Instagram page, but we're mainly sharing what our tenants do because we're proud of our tenants.
Yeah.
But is that going to convert people over to join the kitchen space?
Yeah.
Maybe not. But I mean, ultimately, like, it's just being well connected. Like, it's taken a while to become connected within the industry. Like, I don't have a hospitality background.
Yeah.
I just love this concept.
Yeah.
I want to see people do really well. So
it's awesome to get a diverse set of food that has different taste kind of profiles
100%.
on, like accessibly. I just really get excited by that. That's so fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's some great food in the spot, that's for sure.
I wonder if it's almost like having, like, you, like, sharing almost the content needs to be for other operators that do that. And you need to, like, interview them almost.
Yeah, like we started semi-doing that with Coco Lane. They had started in their home. They moved into our shared space, took the smallest kitchen, and then now took a large kitchen. And they've opened up 2 stores. Like, that, watching them grow has been, like, amazing. But just people tend to forget. They look at the end rather than, like, how they actually got there in the first place.
Yeah.
And they've done a fantastic job of sharing that journey the entire way.
Oh, and they've been sharing on their social well?
Yeah, really, really well. So I think it's us just reminding people of that.
Yeah.
And seeing where they are now is fantastic. But, like, how they got there, I think that's
the early part of the journey, right, that no one sees.
Yeah.
It's the overnight success line.
And seeing them now, like, they've still got, they've got different worries, but, like, they're still equally stressed.
Yeah, that's right. It's only because your capacity for stress increases.
Yeah.
Right? You just get stretched further.
Oh, 100%.
But that's great as well. You want that.
Yeah. I mean, stress is healthy to an extent.
And actually, to a certain degree, you're getting that from having the people around you. Because one thing I noticed when I was in San Francisco, and I would be over there kind of for extended periods of time when I was running my gaming business. And I noticed that I would work a lot harder in the co-working spaces there because there was a different pace.
Yeah.
Like a completely different pace. And it was interesting and valuable.
Oh, 100%. Surrounded by like-minded people, maybe doing completely different things, but in that same sort of energy, right?
Yeah.
You definitely be captured.
Yeah.
I mean, hospitality's known for working out. I mean, they play hard, but they do a lot, And I think it's people can look at ordering food and all you see is just the end. But there's so much thought and process that's gone into just producing that, and down to like the finest detail. I've heard debates before just around like certain levels of spice.
Right.
And I'm too scared to pass my opinion on because they both tasted great. So
yeah, right.
But it's just there's so much to go into it. There's so many moving parts when it comes to food.
What do you think the biggest barrier is for these brands or these concepts and these potentially new entrepreneurs getting started?
It's really easy to get started.
It's really easy to get started.
Yeah. I mean, anyone can start one.
Yeah.
I think it's just
Do they benefit from your regulatory steps that you guys are taking from the kitchen kind of cleanliness?
Oh, yeah, definitely in terms of like getting going. We could be like, bad for people to, start in terms of if they left us and moved somewhere else because we take care of so much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like everyone's just got to learn, which is the most important thing. But I mean, anyone can start a food business, but it's like creating a successful food business. Like you've got to have those skills and attributes and probably just love for the game.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably the most important part, is if you truly believe in it.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes total sense. And what would you say, like, is there any one thing that you've, like one habit, one dynamic you've noticed across the really successful ones?
Passion.
Yeah. Is that passion translated into anything like content or stuff like that? Or is it just product focused?
I'd say like that could be.
I guess it could be either, right? It could be either. You could be successful with a 7 out of 10 product, but really great marketing, great positioning. But you could also be successful with a 10 out of 10 product and less distribution, less.
100%. I think it's just like there's so much going on, all the time, and it's like creating a new brand. Like, how do you cut through all that noise? Like, what's your point of differentiation?
Yeah,
is that someone creating an RTD brand that is really simple, has a great design, you can cut through that noise. They changed, Pals, for example, made a 10-pack, not a 12-pack. It's like a slight change in it, and they ended up becoming Pals. What could you do in food that like cuts through that noise? But people will just see it as a burger. Yeah. Or they see it as a pizza, or they see it as fried chicken. It's like, how do you cut through that noise to create it sort of different? And maybe that does come down to marketing, which they're focusing a lot on.
It's marketing and product, right?
100%. Yeah,
it's the same thing, I guess. You're marketing your product.
Yeah,
but I like Paradise is very interesting as a case study of like really successful distribution and quality of product.
Yeah,
and they kind of have solved the multi thing, right? Because they have these huge family pack biryanis. They're my favorite.
Yeah, well, there's so much opportunity out there. It's just like again, execute on it.
Yeah. I guess do you get some ideas around that, like helping people getting started, almost like operational, like SOPs?
Yeah,
or is it just too much?
I talk to so many people, have a lot of online calls. I love seeing what's going on in the UK market, in the American market. You can look at Dubai and how they've sort of set everything up. There's so many ideas out there. It's like, what's going to translate into the New Zealand market?
Yeah,
I was passionate around sort of production kitchens as well. Trying to lower down the staff costs and create great consistency within the product. So it's all made in sort of one place. You can deliver to the shops. The consistency is a lot better. Plus, you can cut down some of that labour costs. So people are going to show it, basically just heat everything up and put it all together, and cuts down on the prep time. So that was a trend that we're just starting to see now, which is fantastic. But there's a lot of opportunities, but is that going to translate to the New Zealand market? There's only 5 million of us.
So you do feel like the biggest kind of constraint to your business is actually, in a sense, population, and then maybe the density of locations
for certain concepts.
Yeah.
Like with the pre-made meals, I know there's a company in Dubai that does breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's delivered each time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what a great concept! Mm-hmm. But would that translate here with the way that last mile delivery works here?
Yeah,
and it would just cost too much.
Yeah, well, it's like look at the lack of Amazon, right?
Yeah,
is a good.
You
missed that.
Oh, that's like probably the biggest thing I've missed about the UK.
Yeah,
it was just the speed of it, and I think they did promo. I think it was like a Nintendo, not a Game Boy. I can't remember what actually was. We have half an hour delivery.
Yeah, right.
There was a guy on one of the WeWorks ordered. It was here in 10 minutes, and I was like, I don't even know how that works. Like, it would have taken me 10 minutes, like walk down to the shop. Yeah, and it's just delivered like that. So I think there's some great concepts out there. It's just like, how can that happen here?
Yeah, right.
And do we look at, instead of looking at the US or the UK or Dubai, looking at Australia and what they're doing?
Yeah, right.
I don't have the answer for that one.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's good that you're always thinking about what's the next trend, right?
Yeah.
And then trying to, I guess, apply that to the market and local market, which is kind of the concession that is often made. And it is often seen as a bit of a big barrier, right? And it's like, how do we get our heads around like how to operate in this size market?
Yeah.
In these different SKUs.
So I don't know if we like branch out. Like, it's always a challenge that I've always had. If you create bigger cold storage or freezer storage, like what other businesses does that open you up to?
Right.
And it's just obviously storage. It's not like the sexiest thing in the world, but that translate great for our current tenants. But what can that translate to our future tenants? Is it breweries setting up within that? They need a lot of cool space. Could they be within that same sort of building? I don't know.
It's going to be a landlord of food production, really.
Yeah,
Ultimately.
but it's great. There's so many great stories of businesses just starting out.
And there are good SKUs where you're basically transforming space or orchestrating space to solve a food problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it beverage?
More storage or beverage, yeah.
I don't know. Like, it'd be great to get all those people within sort of one building and be interconnected as well. Because I think there's so much knowledge in that building. I'm only skilled up now because of the people that have been in it. And they add little tidbits. And obviously I can't cook, which doesn't really help with how many kitchens we've got. But like, I've learned so much from them. Yeah. I just can't actually execute on it.
Yeah. Funny. So the network has definitely been a benefit for everyone, especially you.
100%.
Yeah, interesting. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today. I know that we had a few reschedules, so it's good to finally catch up and have a chat. It's been fun. Like, I feel like I've learned some things.
Learn about food.
Yeah.
No, thanks so much for the time.
Yeah, awesome, dude.